Hello and welcome back to Jack's Coffee Break. So today I am doing a different kind of video. Pretty recently, as of when I'm recording this, Simply Savannah had us do a contest. Well, I mean, like, anybody could come in. It was a contest for, it's called Respect the Reptiles. And the idea was that you picked a reptile and then you were given an incredibly small border and you had to build an enclosure that fit within the borders. So, just for comparison, let me pull that up real quick. C-O-N-T-E, there it is. So these are the three borders that you could pick from. There was the round one, there was the squarish one, and there was the rectangle. Obviously, I picked the rectangle. So, you had to pick a reptile, you had to make an enclosure, it had to fit within the borders. No major pieces could be hanging out of the borders. It was fairly strict, but not as strict as it, necessarily could have been, which is nice. A lot of leeway in like building something cool. So this was my entry. I did not win. I did not win, and going through and seeing all the videos, man, the winners deserved it. They were spectacular. I have put that video in the description, so that way in case you've somehow stumbled on my channel, but you haven't seen Savannah's channel, which I don't know how you've done this, good job, I guess, you can go there, and see all of the different contest entries, and, who won and things like that, so definitely worth checking out. But I figured I'd show off mine, just because it's fun, and it's cool. And the contest probably happened a while ago from when this gets posted, so. Anyway, I picked the Gharial, as you can see from the board. I wanted this one to be, really focused on just the Gharials, making this, look really good. I had planned to do more with the river basin, but you know what? We'll come back to that. Let me go ahead and hit the play button. Just that way we can see everything in action. So, there's three different viewing areas. There's this underwater area through here. There's the area on the top through here, which gives you a good long-form view of this area. Looks pretty solid. And then if we come through here, there's this sort of old architecture style. And then you come up these stairs, up through here to this building. I don't like doing interiors, and for some reason I decided that, you know what I should do? I should build an interior. I don't know why. So I did this education center, so there's like Plants of India, Adopt a Gharial, which is like that symbolic kind of, you can adopt a Gharial, learn a little bit about them kind of thing that zoos do. Produce of India. We got the tea, we got the cloth, we got all the fruit and the juices and things like that. We have this kind of lower level viewing area that you can come to. Get fairly close up to them. And then at the top we have, oh hello keeper. We have this phylogenetic tree, and I've got all of the Crocodiliae that are in Planet Zoo right now on this list. So we start at Crocodilia, go up to Alligatoridae, then we get to the Spectacle Caiman, Paleosuchus, Cuvier's Dwarf Caiman, True Alligators, we get to the American Alligator, and then down in Longiostress, we get Crocodiliae, Saltwater Croc, and all the way in its own little corner we have Gaevaliidae, sure, with the Gharial. So, that was pretty fun to do. It's a little bit of a question of whether or not I was going to fit everything on this wall, but we got there in the end. We have another little education board, and then we were allowed to have exhibit animals. So we could only have one habitat animal, but we could have as many exhibit animals as we wanted. And I think, like, you could have a habitat animal if you could figure out how to get them to, like, cooperate and it wasn't a predator-prey situation, but the point was the reptile, so. Anyway, we've got the Danube-crested newt, we've got the insect, leaf insect, And then we've got the forest scorpion. So yeah, that was cool. One of the difficulties I did have though was that the only Indian animal is the scorpion, I believe, and everything else not so much. Like these guys are technically European with a little bit of Asia. This map is wrong. It's not across the entire continent like it displays. Same with this one. This one's from like Malaysia. So that was a thing. And then of course you come up here and you can see out. So pretty happy with it. My entry was called Emerald Falls, partially because, you know, you have these emeralds through here. And then, you know what? I can do it. I can do it over here. So when you turn it to night, it glows. The whole area glows, which I thought was a lot of fun. So, and then here we go. So we've got this little niche up here. I'm particularly happy with how this turned out. This was part of the original idea I had for it. And then the rock work I'm very happy with. The palm trees blocking it, but you'll see when we come down. I did the full lighting, so that way you could actually come through here, see everything. I rather like it. I used the conservation lamps, and they give it this like nice orange glow. Like you don't even have to change it. That's just the default. You come down here. I put lights in the paths. Lit this up, and then you come down here and you get a little bit of a glow. This is the only thing I'm disappointed about, is that this glass doesn't really like let things refract through. So, but you come through here and like the whole thing lights up, and then if we come up here, yeah. So, I'm happy with it. Definitely learned a whole bunch of things though. So, I figured I'd go through those because they're not necessarily things like I would have thought about until I was doing this. So if you're building in Sandbox, I'm gonna pause it just because my keeper doesn't actually have the infrastructure to take care of any of the animals. Standard mode. Here we go. So I build in Sandbox mode a lot, but I try and build everything so that way if I were to put it down in franchise mode, there would be no issues. Like I try to build to the welfare of the animal instead of turning all of it off, assuming that they're going to have perfect welfare and then going ham. And partially it's because I like to play the game that way. Partially because when I have tried to not do it that way, I've discovered some fantastic issues. So, for example, see, we've got the terrain sizes over here. It's blurry, I know you can't read it. 307 out of 258 meters, 476 out of 390 meters for water. And then getting all this terrain distribution right. And then getting all of the enrichment right. Last meal quality. So I did end up having to turn off welfare just because I wasn't going to have any staff buildings. I thought about doing like an underground path. It just... I didn't get around to it. But the problem that I ran into when I was doing all of this stuff through here is that when I tried to make it more decorative, watch your eyes. You know, I tried to put more rocks in, more foliage in, things like that. The Gharials just could not move around it, and it shrank their movable area to like nothing, and then they get ported back to the entrance. So, unfortunately, that's a whole big problem. So I wanted it to be more heavily decorated, didn't get around to it. This is that stone face that I was saying. This was a lot of fun to build. The sea lion episode that I did for Highwater Pass. It's the same idea with obviously different stones. And then turn sideways to create these kind of like striations. So that was fun. I think it looks good. But Yeah, so gharials and bison both have issues if you narrow down how much space they have. They don't like to traverse everything, you know, not like the raccoons do. Couple of other things I learned. Blocking sightlines is interesting when you have vertical areas. Like, if you can see over a wall, that's it, you're done for. So, a lot of the entries I noticed, were flat, or they didn't lift you very high in the ground, or they just accepted you were gonna, like, look behind you. So, I think that's another technique that I want to master. Next thing I learned, if you're not going to make this functional anyway, use a guest ticket booth, like a guest zoo entrance, because of the fact that they provide power. So you can provide power to this entire area, and then it basically means that this little solar panel that I have up here, it's completely decorative. Unfortunately, you can't do the same thing with the water. I wish you could. But, yeah, that might be an option. If you're playing in sandbox mode and you just need to lay down a nice, flat, nobody's gonna notice this kind of power source, use the guest entrance. It works really well. Yeah. Next thing I learned, a lot of people really like it when you do these, custom signs and stuff like that. I don't enjoy that, so I probably won't be implementing that into any of my work, but it was cool to see. Yeah. Oh, and then the next thing I learned, I'm sure that this is not news to other people. It was news to me. These barriers, I didn't realize you can change the color of a barrier. They're flexi-color. So, I knew that with some of them, but I didn't know that with this, this thick glass one, for example. Let me put down a square of that. So if I just select this entire thing, it's got, this one is for the stonework, so you can make it garish red. And then, this is actually for the metal, so you can get these interesting, like, I mean, this is radioactive, this is awful. But, like, a guy could, you know? Like, this is an option for you. So, if you didn't know, now you know. Because I didn't. Yeah. So, I don't know. It was a lot of fun. Like I said, definitely congratulations to the winners. Go watch that video. Go give them some love, because they deserve it. Holy crap. But yeah, so this was my hat thrown in the ring. Hopefully next time we get another contest, of course I'm gonna compete. I couldn't actually record a video of me building this thing because everything had to be, you know, confidential and things like that, so you get this walkthrough instead. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. The links are in the appropriate places. Please, I hope that you join next time. It would be so much fun. And I will see y'all next time.